Sisi Wami, Mi Sisi, Mirasir, Mi Harmana, Maya Ses, Sis, S-I-S. My sis is always there for me, so I stand. She is supportive. She sees I can. She is so incredibly special. I thank God for you, fam. Here is how it all began. My sis was there for me. See, when I survived those hard times and silently I suffered, she inspired my spirit and mind. She took that time. So still, I shined. She sets it straight for me. So I see, and I stop incriminating myself, focused on a fail. I must look ahead so I can sail. I've lost loves, so I self-love, and it's better than I imagined. Sharing is safe, and she will not be judged. Standing in solidarity, stunning in stature, she imparts strength. She is strong, so I am strong. She settles any ignorant shit amongst the sisterhood, but she sets it off for sure if she has to, while always setting it straight so we can continue to love, forgive, and develop ourselves. She's secure in her social status. She is sophisticated. She is street. She is smart. She is sweet. She is sacred. She is scared. She is smooth. She has no fears. She is sexy. She is single. She is snatched. She can't mingle. She is superwoman. She is supreme. She is a sage. She is self-made. She is a survivor, a thriver, a thinker, a responsible drinker. She slays in stilettos. She's a queen from the ghetto, a kandake, queen mother, a goddess, a god, a woman king, the generation carrier. She is somebody special, a star in her own right. She brings the light. So if you see she is asleep, please wake her up, because she is our sister, and we need you, sis.
Peace and welcome to the Temple of Hip Hop. I am KRS-One. You know, every Sunday we get together like this at the Temple of Hip Hop, every Sunday at 12 o'clock, to discuss better ways to expand and strengthen our character as hip hoppers. Again, I welcome you to the Temple of Hip Hop. I am KRS-One. This is a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. We're located here at 55 Ludlow Street, Newark, New Jersey. And what we do every Sunday is we get together to discuss a different aspect of hip hop's higher character. You know, we do this, we come together because we're building out our hip hop nation, building out our hip hop culture. And to do that, you can't build a culture, a civilization, a nation with sickness, hatred, ignorance, poverty. You need health, love, awareness, and wealth. These are the centerpieces that build civilization, culture, and so on. So here we are at the Temple of Hip Hop doing that work. We've been doing this work for over 30 years now, coming up really on 40 years actually. But we've been doing this work for a minute. And what we've done is we've documented this 40-year work into this book called The Gospel of Hip Hop. We read from this every Sunday. Right now, we're looking at what is called the Divine Performance. The Divine Performance is 18 performances that outline the hip hop character, the tools, the mental tools needed to conduct one's life successfully as a hip hopper, as hip hop. So I got the gospel opened right now to page 170. Now catch this, we're doing a correction. I read these passages out of order. If you remember a few weeks back, I read perform skill where I was supposed to read perform faith. So perform faith now is what I'm going to read in place of perform skill. If I had read this correctly, we'd be doing perform skill right now. But for some reason, and we spoke about this, I was led to read perform skill earlier. And we discussed also during that week why that might have been the case. Skills were needed that week. But this week now is faith. And this may be a week needed, this may be a performance needed this week to perform faith. G. Simone has a plethora of acronyms based on faith. For all it takes, hope, focus and ignore the haters. Fear always interrupts the hopeful. And there's a whole bunch, but they all lead toward your faith, your level of faith. And what's interesting is that faith is not something that it's not make believe, it's not wishful thinking. It's a real activity of the mind that can actually make things happen. We're here at a temple, so obviously we have to discuss faith and understand what faith is to us. Turn to page 170 of the Gospel of Hip Hop. I'm reading Perform Faith. Perform faith. Demonstrate your faith. And there's a period right there. How do you perform your faith? You demonstrate it. Do not live exclusively by your natural reasoning or believe exclusively what your senses tell you. Live by faith. Faith is not just a belief in unseen things. It is an unconditional confirmation of the finished work. It is a knowing or expectancy that comes from living a spiritual and virtuous life. Faith is not an invisible thing. It is a very visible thing. It has physical effects. In fact, faith is the invisible substance of visible things. Did you hear that? Faith is the invisible substance of visible things. Faith is simply what you perceive as real. Is God real to you? Are God's abilities real to you? Whatever you believe your God can actually do shall be done. Because of unrighteous and non-spiritual living, if you do not truly perceive your spirit abilities, the strength of your God, then it is your own doubt that weakens the supernatural abilities of your own spirit over the material world. It's doubting. Live a virtuous life, and every month, do something or say something that requires faith. Practice faith. Expect this. Expect results. As an example, as simple and as easy as it is to faithfully order food from a restaurant, you should likewise faithfully order health, love, awareness, and/or wealth from the universe. In this example, the universe is a restaurant. When you know that you have money to eat, you effortlessly and confidently enter the restaurant, sit down and order whatever you have a taste for. Such is the same with spiritual living. When you know that you have an abundance of spiritual money, meaning faith, which is the effect of righteous, virtuous living, helpfulness, patience, etc. Basically, when you are full of the divine performance, you boldly order from the universe those things that you need. Just as easily as you might order a beer from a bar with the confidence that comes from righteous living, order for yourself peace and prosperity with the same expectancy. Point to the unseen and translate the unheard. Practice exercising your faith by ordering things in faith. Temple members are united in the faith that hip hop is God's response to our suffering. Our faith as hip hoppers is established through our trust in the divinity of our unique historical experiences. Did you get that? You see, if you don't have faith in your own historical experiences, then it's going to be impossible for your life. It's going to be impossible to live a spiritual life. To live a spiritual life, you have to believe in the spirituality of your experiences. Temple members are united in the faith that hip hop is God's response to our suffering. That's the unity of faith. Our faith as hip hoppers is established through our trust in the divinity of our unique historical experiences. At the heights of our faith, knowing, we believe that our God has called a new nation into being, and we are they who are called of God. We are a new people, a truly free people. We are not subjected to the blessings, curses, or prophecies of other nations and faiths. God is dealing with us right now. Today, we are a wholly integrated people having omnipresent power. That's an acronym for hip hop. The truly attuned hip hopper performs and walks in this faith, knowing those who walk in this faith and both regularly and randomly perform acts of this faith are truly inspired and rarely depressed. They are joyous and strong while others remain anxious and weak. They are at peace even while others are afraid. These are the effects of faith. For God is an exact God. Those that live by faith need not an abundance of anything. They always have exactly what they need, exactly when they need it. In fact, this is the abundance. Never too soon, never too late, never too much, never too little. The faithful always have exactly enough. Faith and the knowing that comes from righteous living eliminates fear and doubt. And likewise, fear and doubt caused by ignorance and unrighteous living eliminates faith. Decide right now which of the two you shall serve, fear or faith, doubting or knowing, surviving or living. Practice faith by performing random acts of faith. In troubling situations, be still and know that your God is God. Store up your spiritual money, faith, in righteousness, righteous, virtuous living, and then order whatever you need from the universe. Immerse yourself in something that your God must follow up on and complete. Let me just stop there real quick. That's what this temple is. For many years, you guys have heard us speak. Before this building came into existence, you heard us speak. We immersed ourselves in a faith until it became manifested. Believe in your God. Expect the presence, power, and activity of your God, God force. Believe God, not the world. Regularly perform faith. Accumulate and then spread your faith, your spiritual faith money wisely. Or should I say, accumulate and then spend your spiritual faith money wisely. Bruce Barton, philosopher, reminds us, quote, "The ablest men in all walks of life are men of faith. Most of them have much more faith than they themselves realize," end quote. Perform faith. That's going to conclude our read this week. To perform your faith. Don't just say, I have faith or that I believe. Let's see the result of that belief. Let's see, you should practice bringing your ideas into physical manifestation. That's the faith, that's the walk. Something that didn't exist, something that was invisible, now being brought into physical and visible manifestation. That's the complete faith. The Bible teaches that faith without works is dead. Most spiritual thought, most of the world religions even, also speak of faith as something that's elementary to your spiritual life. Without knowing that there's something more to the material world, you only live in the material world. But if you know that there's more to living than just what your five senses can detect, now you're entering the world of faith. Things like love, you can't touch love, you can't smell love, you can't eat, you can't taste justice. Things like justice, love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness. These things don't hit the five senses. So according to the world, they're not real. But according to the spirit, these things are very real. Both love and hate, depression and joy, peace and war. Within yourself, these things are real. So you use these tools to deal with the inner nature of your being so that the outer nature blossoms accordingly. Remember, what's going on out here is a result of what's going on in here. Your perception of the world is the only thing that's happening. The world is the way it is, but the way you perceive the world is how it's going to respond to you. So have some faith. Have some faith in the world. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the goodness of people and that things are going to work out. That's our talk this week. This is the Temple of Hip Hop. I am KRS-One. I'll see you next week.